Okay, let's talk about the Ballon d'Or. Now, you heard there from Tom, and I'll just go through some of the major awards that have been given. Alexia Putellas, the Spanish midfielder who plays for Barcelona, won the Women's Ballon d'Or. Robert Lewandowski won a new award called Striker of the Year, which I thought might have been introduced just to stop him winning the Ballon d'Or and ruining whatever commercial operations the organisation and Lionel Messi have got in place. Gianluigi Donnarumma won Goalkeeper of the Year, despite the fact that in the second half of the year, he hasn't been able to get into Paris Saint-Germain's team. Chelsea won the other new award, that of Club of the Year, and it's very hard to argue with that, given the way they won the Champions League. But in the big one, it's a 7th victory for Lionel Messi. Let me give you the rundown. In 5th place was N'Golo Kante. In 4th, Karim Benzema. In 3rd, Jorginho, the midfielder for Chelsea. In 2nd was Lewandowski. And Lionel Messi won, as I say, his 7th Ballon d'Or, taking him 2 clear now of his great and historic rival, Cristiano Ronaldo. Matt, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm cynical about these individual awards, and particularly, I suspect the amount of commercial activity that goes with the prestige of winning them, that leads to people like Neymar changing club in a hope of winning the Ballon d'Or. Incidentally, Neymar was about 15th, so his plan has gone slightly awry. Am I being an old sourpuss here? Should I be celebrating? Because no doubt young people around the world will be tweeting and WhatsApping each other furiously about this.
Well,
and TikToking.
We touched on it earlier. When you trust journalists to make to make these selections, that's what happens. No, I think it is a bit of a weird one. Look, Lionel Messi is the best player I've ever seen, but I don't think it was a vintage Messi year. Personally, I'd have given it to the bloke who came third, Jorginho, because I always think the first thing the starting point should be the teams that have been successful. And I know people will start screaming, Sean's hipsters will start, well, they won Copa America. But it's for me, the guy that was in the Chelsea team that won the Champions League and in the Italy team, and was, I think there was, didn't he cover? And I know that this shouldn't be the sort of the measure, but he had an incredible European Championship. I think he covered more ground than any other player in the tournament. He was absolutely vital to, albeit having missed a penalty, but it was absolutely vital to Italy's success. And I just think that's where you should be looking. And there's been this monopoly with Ronaldo and Messi. Understandably, I think only one other player has won it since they started winning it, and I think it was Kaka, wasn't it, who won it before they won it, and then they've just completely had it stitched up. Was Modric, and that was a nice break from the norm when Modric won it a couple of years ago. And I just think this year was another year to do that. You know that. I mean,
there was a year a little while ago
where
Rafael Varane won the World Cup and the European Cup. The Champions League. What on earth did he have to do to not be the best footballer in the world?
And there was that clamour for Van Dijk, wasn't there? And he ended up finishing second. And I just think...
Blame the journalists.
Yeah, absolutely. My original point, don't trust journalists to do anything.
I feel for Lewandowski a bit because I don't think he commands the sort of image around the... I mean, he's got a great image, clean-cut image, but he doesn't excite South American voters and all of that. He scores loads of goals. To be fair, Messi said tonight that he felt sorry for Lewandowski. He felt he should have won the Ballon d'Or, which was last year when it got cancelled. I thought he was referring to this year originally, but he actually said last year. And then he said you should have a Ballon d'Or, which that's pretty magnanimous of him. To be fair, I personally don't think it should be Messi. I love Messi as a player, great player, but I thought for what Lewandowski's done consistently, he deserved it in my view. But hey,
I'm not sure what the whether it goes from July to July or it covers the calendar year. I presume it must go whatever it happens. Lewandowski this year, I think I'm right in saying, has scored 62 goals. I mean, we're getting, and this is in Germany. All right, he's playing for the best team by a mile. Yeah. I get that. And are we getting to a situation then, Sean, where if it is a kind of popularity contest among one journalist from each FIFA member, are we getting to the stage where a Lewandowski can never win it because he doesn't play for plays for Poland rather than
I think it's
Argentina.
hard. I think if you somebody like Messi, who has worldwide appeal, Latin votes. Look, let's be honest. He's at PSG now, where France football is based. He was in Spain, which carries a big Latin backing. He wasn't, South American as well. People follow Messi all over the world. They don't follow Robert Lewandowski, unfortunately for him.
It is like the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, a tad. Except
all right.
At least Lewandowski gets to be second. He doesn't finish last.
Well,
but how's he striker of the year though, Dan? I mean, that's a bit nonsensical, isn't it?
Well,
if Messi's the player of the year.
Well, I suppose Messi would just about qualify as not being a striker. His 3 assists for PSG this weekend shows that he does a little bit more around the place. Which brings us to, we mentioned him earlier on because he's connected with Ralf Rangnick from the past. Erling Haaland, if he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, he has to be quite careful where he goes next. Because I think he is the next great player off the block. Anybody, I don't mean to get too graphic here, but anybody who saw that picture of him on the beach in Spain recently, in just his scanties, and just look at the way he's built, never mind his power and pace and skill and mentality, he is monstrous. But the next question, Matt, then is if it's about glamour and clubs that are known around the world, will a player from the Premier League team ever win the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? It's. I guess over the years.
Here we go. If not Jorginho this year, then when and who?
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought Van Dijk should have won it a couple of years ago. And there was finally a defender's going to win it, and it didn't happen.
Don't give it to defenders, do they?
I know, absolutely. And yet, what an amazing player! And look what happened to Liverpool when he wasn't
playing. Was Cannavaro the last defender to win it?
Oh, come on! You know the answer to that better than I do, Dan. You're the expert on this stuff.
Well, then I'll hazard a guess that Cannavaro, the year Italy won the World Cup, was the last time a defender won the Ballon d'Or. Look, I'm not against. Because it would be churlish, because so many people seem to enjoy these events. But let's sort out the voting down the line here and make sure that either I get a casting vote or it gets thrown out into a more, how can I put it, more likely to produce a fair winner rather than just replicating. Because if Messi did, and he did win the South American Championship. Let's get that right. Indeed. Won it away from home against Brazil. So it's a pretty big achievement for that Argentinian team, and very sadly, of course, in front of less than 8,000 supporters, because in the summer in Brazil was the absolute teeth of the epidemic. But the way it's set up at the moment, it's hard to imagine when they will ever let anyone else win it, because then there'll be questions asked about the actual award itself, and we're in that age, aren't we, where lots of young people around the world, you can tell from their Twitter feeds and their Instagram feeds, they support Lionel Messi, not Barcelona, not PSG, not Spain. They support Lionel Messi. And we'll see how this award needs to find a way to move itself forward away from the era of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. And I'll be very, very, very interested to see how they do that.